Hi, it's Megan. So I am super tardy about putting up another chapter of my book Masks, which I've been trying to write week by week. That doesn't even, I can't even say that with a straight face. And then putting in a video on YouTube chapter by chapter, and then I also put the actual text to what I say on my blog. So if you don't want to listen to it, you can go read it on my blog, and then in the description to each of the videos I put the actual link to that particular chapter on my blog. So where are we now? Gosh, I don't even remember where we are now. That's how bad it is. But effectively, basically, I have a heroine. She's got a makeup company in Los Angeles. She is the daughter of a single mother. She's got an older brother, and she's just having one of those horrible days. And she was a scholarship student. Her mom sold Estee Lauder makeup in a lot of the big stores in LA while she was growing up, but she was going to private schools. So it was like a different world for her in the daytime and the evening. But with her mom doing what she did and spending the amount of time at the store, she just developed a passion for makeup. Go figure, I would say that, right? Who would develop a passion for makeup, right? Not me. She's just having one of those horrible days. She has a huge meeting about a new product line that she's releasing. She's not completely sure about what to do with the product line, and she had a big fight with her boyfriend, who's not the nicest guy, and she's asking herself, why am I with this guy? Then her mom had a stroke. So it's just been a disaster. And in this chapter now, this is chapter 6, she is seeing her mom wake up in the hospital after the stroke, and we don't know for sure if her mom made it to the hospital in time to get the medicine she needed to be okay from the stroke, because there is medicine which helps most of the time if you get there in time, but not always. So let's see what happens. So we're going to start chapter 6. My mom looks like my mom, but she isn't awake. Rather, she's sleeping, and I can't see if she has any paralysis or loss of motor function or slurred speech. As I watch her stir, but not as if under her own conscious control, I can only remember my yoga instructor's direction to breathe. Always focus on the breath, feeling the rise and fall of your chest and listening for that rustle going in and out. It means hope and perhaps tomorrow at least another moment, passing but still there. I'm broken and feel more tears welling up in the corner of my eyes, like a bad cliche in a dime novel. I've been a fucking faucet today, and I can't even call my boyfriend to cry on his shoulder since we're in a Cold War. Not a good relationship, so I succumb to the water as it flows. Mom was never that sturdy to begin with, despite what life has demanded of her. For now, she's breathing, and I see the gentle rise and fall of her chest. She's alive, but I knew that already. My mom looks tiny curled up on her hospital bed, her form twisted sideways, with wires and whatnot jutting out of her. I see machines and don't want to imagine what they mean. Her body is smaller now as she's wasted away recently, and I've ignored her slight frame fading, more involved in my own daily stress and pressure. Sure, I know it's all been so hard for her, and she hurts, but I'm so self-focused that I choose to ignore the pain in the world, including hers. I will her to retain the parental role, whether she can still carry that cross, or is instead falling under such a heavy burden. Children can be selfish. I need to get back to my office and hate myself for thinking that way, but I still have a company to keep solvent, and my mom will live or die without me. I just need to show that I came and demonstrate my love. I do care, I do love her, and can't fully express the pain I feel in seeing this prostrate form, weak and battered before me. Perhaps I yearn to just escape this truism, but that my mom isn't young the way she once was. How come parents are allowed to age and get weaker, losing their health in the process? Shouldn't they always be there for us when we need them? I still need her. Resigned, I make a decision. I'll wait until she wakes up, and my staff will handle the manufacturing meeting. While she might have entered this place without either of her children by her side, she shouldn't wake up here for the first time alone. Hospitals are too frightening for the sick. Sterile and burdened with those in pain or scared, ill and desperate, the surroundings only magnify the oppression of an institution. A hospital isn't our home, and the flimsy beds are about saving lives, not comfort. I stifle another sob and try not to break down as I watch her sleeping, peaceful, but how am I to really know? Her body has been rebelling more often now as her health continues its steady decline. Last year it was pneumonia, and the year before that she broke her hip. Life kept her busy, and I suspect she never really took care of herself. Working long hours on her feet, having little cash for doctor visits and the best food, she wore down. The life of a single parent is never easy. Another tear falls on my jeans, and I wonder at how it traveled so far before I noticed I was crying. I pat my eyes, trying to dry the wetness without spreading black mascara across my face. I hear the noises of a busy place around me, with chatter mingling into footsteps and an occasional laugh. My mom can't break apart and disappear, I think, panicking. The universe just shouldn't allow such a reality to occur. My whole life she's been such a constant and there for me. Now I know nothing except that my world is falling apart and my company needs me too. The chattering voice in my head keeps talking me into a frenzy of no, and this can't be happening. And I will that stupid voice to just shut up. Next thing I know, I'll be reminding myself that I'm fat, as if it matters now. I've turned my phone off and not bothered to check if I have any messages, desperate or not. Frankie, who's her assistant, can juggle things for a few hours. People today are so used to instant responses, they seemingly forget that patience was once a virtue. I watch my mom, trying to focus on her, not the crazy world from outside that I brought into this room. Still, I'd do anything to protect the company I built, but perhaps I'd do just slightly more for my mother. She's the one who gave me confidence to follow my dream when I was struggling, trying to decide between Muse, her company, and law school. I sigh and study her form, curled and covered, as I ponder my conflict. Follow your passion, she told me then. I never did, and every day regret not taking that one risk extra. Law school will always be there for you, but your company has real orders today. She continued, dumping some new Lauder products on our kitchen table, not dissimilar to my earlier activities at my office today. You can do better, she'd finished, with a half smile. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I still remember the rose floral dress she was wearing as she proved her devotion to me again. That was the only day she ever hinted that Estee Lauder wasn't the best possible product. Loyal to a fault, she picked my product first. I kissed her cheek, then ran to my room, basically a small and dark closet. Curled up on my bed, I crafted a shade of lipstick similar to the undertones of her dress. It was my first huge success. For my mom is my muse, and Muse is also my muse. We draw inspiration from what we love. My mom is so pretty in a soft and feminine way. Meanwhile, the company lives its own life too, but with a harder edge to its femininity. Now it needs to have a production meeting in an hour, regardless of traffic or life or death matters. I text Frankie and tell her I'll likely miss the meeting and others need to handle the manufacturing issues without me. That's what I have a COO for, right? I sit in the chair next to the bed and take Mom's hand in mine. I feel all hope seeping out, dissipating into air, and tears welling up again. And again, and again. They don't ever seem to stop today. I'm usually upbeat, but once in a while things really get to me. Usually when I lose control of something. My whole life I've been fighting the odds with few resources on my side. Alone unless a friend or their parents came in to help. I've always been the underdog, and sometimes I just get tired. Mom stirs and I wonder what she thought while I was growing up. She rarely said, preferring to remain a resolute mystery. Perhaps now I'll never have a chance to find out. My phone beeps and I see Frankie's agreement come through via text. We're set to take the meeting without you. No problem. Another tear falls. We all get stripped bare at some point in life, don't we? Then we need to rise from our own ashes, resurrected, and begin to fight again. Or so Mom taught me, and I'm scared that I'll need to get by without her. Will she wake up into a fully functioning brain, or will I now be talking to a woman who can't remember me? And Ron, her brother, texts me telling me that he'll be here soon. But what can I respond until the doctors tell me more? Mom's hand is limp, and I kiss her palm, whispering promises in the wind. I text Ron back, and we arrange to meet for dinner. I stand, stretching, waiting. Then I see movement on the bed, and Mom opens her bright blue eyes, staring straight at me. She lifts the hand I just returned to its resting place on her white bed, nestled in a thigh. Cora, I exclaim, and pray that I will like her answer. That's the end of chapter 6. I'm all emotional today for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, comments are welcome, thoughts. The nice thing about YouTube is people can provide comments or feedback. And like I said, I will put the link to the blog with this written in text and then also the earlier chapters in the